Welcome back to Newsmax. Now I'm John Bachman. A California judge orders Bill Cosby to give a deposition in a new sexual abuse lawsuit. Judy Huth is accusing Cosby of assaulting her at the Playboy Mansion back in 1974 when she was only 15 years old. This is the first time that Cosby has been ordered to testify in response to sexual assault complaints. Cosby also faces at least 3 other pending civil lawsuits. A new poll shows that 4 big GOP presidential candidates are catching up with Hillary Clinton. Take a look. The poll released by WMUR, the Granite State, New Hampshire poll shows Senator Rand Paul and Governor Scott Walker are just 2 points, or have a 2-point lead over Hillary Clinton. Both Republicans get about 45% of the vote, while Clinton received only 43%. Jeb Bush has a 1-point lead over Clinton, while Rubio trails. A priceless Stradivarius violin has resurfaced more than 3 decades after it was stolen. The rare instrument belonged to renowned violinist Roman Tottenberg, who died without ever knowing where his prized instrument was. An appraiser contacted authorities after a woman brought that stolen instrument in to have it appraised in New York. And NASA cameras have captured pictures of the far side of the moon. A camera took satellite images of the moon crossing in front of the Earth. We normally never get to see the side of the moon. The pictures show the moon's far side lit up by the sun.
That almost doesn't look real. It's so cool.
It is cool. Welcome to the round table. Here with us, Dr. Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University, and Rick Ungar, co-host of the Daily Wrap, senior political contributor to Forbes.com as well. Thank you both for being with us.
Good as always.
Thank you. All right, today's debate is going on as we speak. Let's take a look at some of the past debate oops moments, though, from the primetime debates, in this case, where they can be make or break moments out in the presidential campaign.
It's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone. What's the third one there?
When I hear your new ideas, I'm reminded of that ad. Where's the beef?
Ashamed of yourself for jumping on my wife. You're not worth being on the same platform.
I'll tell you something. This is an attack piece.
That is not by my campaign.
What says paid for by John McCain?
I don't think I'm that bad.
You're likable enough.
Thank
Hillary,
you so much.
Mr. Green, you turn on my... You asked for me if you would... I am paying for this microphone, Mr. Green.
Oh, those primary debates. I think they're normally a little bit better than the actual general election debates sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. I'm sure we'll have some make or break moments to discuss tomorrow. Now, the first official GOP debate rules outline this. Take a look. Each candidate has 1 minute to respond to a question, 30 seconds for rebuttals. If a candidate's name is mentioned, well, then that candidate has 30 seconds to respond. Sounds simple enough, but with that many candidates on the stage, Carol, do you think the moderators will be able to keep that crowd under control?
Well, I certainly hope so. But each candidate would have an incentive to filibuster. And so it's going to be quite difficult, I believe, to keep them under control. So let's just hope for the best.
What about you, Rick? What do you say?
Are we talking about the drinking game rules or the actual debate rules? Because the drinking game rules are extensive. They really are. Yeah, you know what? You've got some very tough people moderating this debate. I think the most interesting part of the debate is going to be between some of the moderators like Megyn Kelly and Chris Wallace, who were both tough, and the candidates. So, yeah, I think they'll keep them under control.
All right, well, he was dismissed early on, but now things are looking much different for Donald Trump. In fact, Politico and a lot of us are asking the question, what if Trump wins? Voters may vote in the direction of Donald Trump because of his outspokenness. Rick, I'll ask you the same question Politico was asking. What if Trump not only wins this debate, but also wins the election, the primary?
Well, I mean, he may win the primary. I think people like me, who have been very wrong about Trump's candidacy all the way since the beginning, we are now waking up to the possibility that he could win. Since I'm the Democrat here, it probably won't shock you that I find that a terrific idea.
Carol, what does Trump have to do to stay on top?
I think he has to keep speaking things that resonate with the American people. And I can tell you, with the Republican base, people are tired of the elites handpicking the nominees and selected nominees.
But he is one of the elites.
Well, not a political elite, though, Rick.
Choice. He's not an elite choice.
No, but he's not a handpicked. He's part of the aristocracy.
Well, it's different
and
than a
that
Bush
could
or a
work
Clinton.
against him. You bring up a good point to relate to the everyday folks. But he is resonating. Well, Carol made that point.
Well, you know, he is. And you know, I wrote an article today in my Forbes column where I asked the question, is this the final move in the transformation from our democracy to an oligopoly? Now you've got somebody who stands up there and his primary asset so far in running for the presidency is to say, I'm really rich and you're not. And that's working incredibly well.
All right, well, let's get Carol. Carol, we got to go to a commercial break. We'll give you a chance to respond to Rick's statement when we come right back. We got more of a roundtable discussion. Carol Swain is with us, also Rick Ungar from the Daily Wrap, and columnist with Forbes as well. We're going to talk a little bit more about the debate coming up, and a little bit more. We're going to talk specifically about Jeb Bush, too, when we come back. Speaking of the elites and the establishment, much more to come right after this.
Back for part two of our roundtable, Dr. Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University, and Rick Ungar, co-host of the Daily Wrap, seen right here on Newsmax TV.
All right, Carol, let's go ahead and give you a chance to respond to what Rick was saying about Donald Trump being kind of the king of the oligarchs.
The important thing about Donald Trump is that he is speaking to issues that the American people care about, and he's clearly not the establishment choice. And I think right now the American people want to be heard. They want someone that cannot be bought. And it's probably troubling to Americans other than me that you have Barack Obama, Bill Clinton go to office. They're not wealthy, you know, when they become president, but they gain enormous wealth while they're in office. A candidate like that or a president like that.
While they're in office?
While they're in office. Look at the net wealth.
How did those two gentlemen get rich while they were in office?
I don't know.
I mean, I certainly agree with you that Bill Clinton got very wealthy after office.
But aside from those two, Rick, there are plenty of other stories of people that get elected and go to Congress and then leave Congress as millionaires. You know, and you look
absolutely.
And what Carol's talking about too is not just the candidate individually, but also the apparatus around them, the consultants and the same messages we hear based on focus groups and the like we hear from a candidate like Jeb Bush.
Go ahead, Rick.
Right. Let me drive home my point, though, when I say that Donald Trump is part of the elite. We have this tendency to define the political elite still as those people who hold office or run for office. Is George Soros part of the political elite? I would say he is. Are the Koch brothers part of the political elite? I would say they are, because these are the people who make politics possible today, and I think to leave them out is ridiculous. Well, Donald Trump is certainly one of those people. He is a part of the political elite. He's a major contributor. Now, wait. I have no problem. I have no problem whatsoever with Donald Trump being rich and successful. God bless him. I'm all for that. I'm simply saying that what we're seeing here, he's not, I mean, all due respect to Dr. Swain, to say that Donald Trump is running. Why don't you let me finish? With all due respect to the doctor, to say that Donald Trump is running a campaign based on issues that appeal to people, if you count one-liners as issues, okay. I'm used to candidates from both sides of the aisle traditionally actually giving you detailed issues. We're getting one line.
You bring up a good point. Is there more pressure, Carol, for Trump to not give those so-called one-liners and sound more, let's say, presidential tonight and focus more on the issues?
One of the things that I did in preparation for this segment is to look at his issue positions. And so he actually has issue positions. And I think that he will be closely watched to see how he responds to policy issues. And I expect him to do very well in this debate.
I think he's going to do pretty well, too, because the bar is pretty low as long as he can just be Donald Trump. Keep it nice and light, make some jokes, gloss over some of the issues, and I think he'll survive unscathed. Meantime, I think Jeb Bush, though, has the most on the line tonight. He's going to have to lock horns with Donald Trump at some point, or at least try to, and it might not go so well if he gives answers like this.
Got a T-shirt that says at the Jeb swag store that says my dad's the greatest man alive. If you don't like it, I'll take you outside.
That was Jeb talking about his swag shop or online campaign merchandising. But we also are learning today that from Politico that Jeb called Trump some less than nice names. Seriously, what's this guy's problem? Bush asked one party donor he ran into recently, according to accounts provided by several sources close to Bush. And he went on to describe the publicity-seeking real estate developer now surging in public polls far ahead of Bush and the 15 others in the Republican field as a buffoon, a clown, and a name I can't say here on television.
I was just going to say
Do you think, Rick, that Donald Trump will take the bait tonight and lock horns with Jeb Bush based on these statements?
I certainly hope so. I don't know if he will or not. Look, far be it from me to get into the middle of their arguments, but I got to tell you, I really don't blame Jeb Bush. You know, Donald Trump was the guy who wrote a tweet saying that Jeb Bush had to support his immigration policy because his wife is Mexican. That's not okay. That's way out of bounds. And if I were Jeb Bush, I'd probably feel the same way.
Well, fair enough. But, Carol, I mean, Jeb Bush cannot give answers when you have a guy like Donald Trump, just like the one we heard, where he's stumbling and stammering when he's supposed to be talking about his own merchandise for the campaign about his dad.
I agree. And we can expect Donald Trump, if he's going to be true to himself, he will be politically incorrect, and the Americans will love it.
He will be politically incorrect. And I think that's part of the appeal here. Yes, he does come from a lot of money. He could be classified as one of the elites, but he's not following the script of a typical campaign. And I think that's why people are so interested right now. Rick Ungar, Carol Swain, thanks so much for being with us.
We got to ask him real quick. Who do you think is going to win the debate? Rick, go.
I think Megyn Kelly and Chris Wallace will win the debate.
Oh, wow. Of course you'd say that. Carol, you.
I expect Trump to do really well. He may disappoint me, but my expectation is that he will handle the stage and will command the stage.
All right, fair enough. And we come back from this break, we'll go global with the very latest headlines from around the world. Stick around.
You know, just before retirement.